How many situations can you think of where you spend time on your phone? Going from place to place, waiting in line for food, being in an awkward social interaction, and so many more times. There are very few people who don't spend much time on their phone. Social media is defined according to Oxford Languages as websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. But what happens if social media becomes used too much or is overly practical? Will that damage society? This is an issue that affects every person in society because even those without access to social media are still affected by how it has changed and morphed society into what it is today. Every person should be aware that in one way or another they're affected by social media. This is because of modern society's inherent need for it. The need of social media has made our society develop a dependency on technology without an awareness of how it negatively affects people that use it. How often do you check your activity on your phone? How often each day do you spend on social media? You'd be surprised to find you use your phone much more often than you think. Personally, I spend about 3 hours on social media a day, which is something that I'm looking to change. Spending that much time on social media has made a noteworthy decrease in my mental health in severe aspects. On researching this topic, I've learned that there are many reasons it would be healthier for me to spend less time on social media and more in the present. The general public needs to be aware of the negative effects of social media. By learning how social media hurts individuals, people can be more aware of how they could be negatively affected by it. To start, there are 3 reasons why social media is proven to be negative for society. It affects the mental health of those who use it, reduces the attention span, and limits productivity, creativity, and time management. Social media has several negative effects of the brain, many of which are prevalent in day-to-day life. There's a striking relationship between heavy use of media and lower feelings of social success, lower feelings of normalcy, less sleep, and more friends their parents thought were a negative influence. According to Stephen March's Is Facebook Making Us Lonely? It is the people who are lonely that are more likely to use sites like Facebook or other social media sites. Social media is proven to decrease attention span and open-mindedness. According to Judith Donath, director of the Sociable Media Group at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Media Labs, social networking provides a series of many mental rewards that don't require much effort to receive, which decreases attention. And lastly, those who use social media are less productive and manage their time less effectively than those who do not. According to DeSalvo, for people who bring a compulsive personality to the keyboard, 2 hours can grow rapidly, setting off a cascade of bad consequences at home and work. Since learning the negative effects of social media on the brain, it's important to see the apparent problems associated with social media use and how it affects day-to-day life. Everybody should see the negative effects of social media. To start, using social media at nighttime is proven to reduce the quality of sleep. According to Rob, over a third of children wake up at night to check their mobile device, including nearly half of children who said they felt addicted to their phone. Also, social media can be an easy outlet to seek gratification, yet it can backfire very easily. From page 6 of DeSalvo's article, social networks have become havens not only for people with a poor self-image, but also for those who seem overly pleased with themselves. And according to Greenfield, one challenge is that in constructing online identities, we build what she calls the hoped-for possible self, which is probably an exaggerated version of the real self, a case of performance art. Now it's clear that people should be aware of the effects of media consumption. They should consider the benefits of life without social media. To start, social media creates harshly negative body image. According to research by Bell, Dittmar, Schuler, Lowry, and Tigeman, multiple racial and ethnic groups report body dissatisfaction at very high rates, as well as reports of few differences in ratings of ideal or physically attractive female figures across diverse regions of the world. Also, social media makes it more difficult to perform in real-life situations. Greenfield says that people are more likely to find that retreating to virtual communication produces negative outcome. She also mentions that parents and teachers need strategies to educate a generation that increasingly believes all relevant knowledge resides online. Digital technologies are leaving their mark on more than our brains. And lastly, social media negatively affects cognitive activity, making reading or learning much more difficult. When Nicholas Carr mentioned his troubles with reading to friends and acquaintances, many of them said they're having similar experiences. The more they use the web, the more they have to fight to stay focused on long pieces of writing. Also, according to Kaspersky Lab, Fisher, Gadu, and Keel, 36% of subjects studied turned to the internet before even trying to remember the information themselves that they learned. Other research also indicates that after doing internet searches, users have inflated beliefs about what they know about topics that they have not truly researched. In conclusion, social media has been proven to negatively affect society. It has a direct negative correlation with mental health, attention span, and productivity. It also negatively affects sleep, and despite its seemingly positive contribution to self-image and esteem, it can work against users. Additionally, it makes it harder to perform in real-life situations and has long-term cognitive effects. In order to reduce the harm that social media causes, society has to be conscientious of possible dangers associated with it. I urge every one of my listeners to consider your use of technology and social media in specific, and consider how it personally affects you. I would not be surprised to find that there are multiple aspects that affect each and every one of you. Now that you've learned about how it negatively affects many facets of life, I encourage you to try slowly reducing your social media consumption or removing it entirely. Thank you.